One of my favorite questions to ask in the kitchen is, does that really make a difference? I guess I'm a natural skeptic, and so I question the use of ingredients and techniques all the time. It's a potentially annoying habit of mine that I promise does have some use. I swear, it leads to testing things in the test kitchen and new discoveries. Today's annoying skeptical question is, does adding vodka to tomato sauce really make a difference? Pasta alla vodka has always had an air of mystery swirling around it. When I saw it on menus as a kid, it seemed almost edgy to me. Boozy pasta? I think it still holds a lot of mystery. For starters, where did it even come from? That's one question I can answer pretty quickly because, well, we don't really know. Pasta alla vodka's definitive origin story has been lost to time. Depending on which account you believe, the dish might be a restaurant innovation out of Bologna or Rome, an Italian-American invention, or the result of a marketing campaign for vodka. But we do know that the concept of adding vodka to tomato sauce has existed for at least 50 years, as it's mentioned in the 1974 cookbook La Buffone. La Buffone was written by the Italian comedic actor Ugo Tognazzi, and it's part recipes, part memoir. In the book, Tognazzi has a recipe for penne all'infuriata that is similar to the vodka sauce we know today, but with a little more kick. In his recipe, he spikes the tomato sauce with a glass of potent chili-infused vodka. Regardless of how it came to be, we know definitively that it exists now. But should it? There are vodka sauce skeptics who say that the spirit adds little more than edge and intrigue to the dish's name. Others swear it enhances the sauce's creaminess. The only way to sort it out is, of course, with blind side-by-side taste tests. When we did that, we found that the vodka certainly has an impact, but only on flavor. It acted like a volume knob, intensifying the dish's fruitiness, savoriness, and complexity. And it bumped up the dish's aroma. The best way to describe it was that it made the dish taste like a better version of itself. High fidelity versus lo-fi. To understand why the alcohol in vodka is so good at amping up flavor, we gotta talk about polarity and solubility. In the kitchen, we are usually dissolving things into some form of either water or fat. Water molecules are polar, and polar solvents dissolve polar compounds. We know that water is great at dissolving salt and sugar, which are both polar, but most flavor compounds are non-polar, so water doesn't do a great job at dissolving them. Fat molecules, on the other hand, are non-polar, so they have a field day with flavor compounds. You've seen this in your kitchen. You use water to make a salty brine, but you use oil when you want to infuse it with chilies and garlic to make chili oil. So that's nice, easy, clean, and divided. We have polar and non-polar, but then we make it messy by adding alcohol, which is both polar and non-polar. Think of it like your friends. You've got that one friend who is great at sports and another who is a math whiz. Makes sense. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. But wait, you've also got that annoyingly talented friend who is somehow great at both sports and math. Alcohol is that annoying friend. But it's actually not annoying. It's amazing. It means that alcohol can dissolve all of the flavor compounds with its non-polar properties and then disperse it into water with its polar properties. Check out this experiment. I've steeped equal weights of annatto seeds in equal amounts of oil, vodka, and water for 15 minutes. In general, color is a great indicator of flavor. So here you can taste with your eyes. You can see that the water is the least colorful because it struggles to dissolve the seed's non-polar flavor compounds. Both the oil and the alcohol, however, took a lot of the seed's color and flavor. The same science applies to alcohol-based applications like vanilla extract. You steep the vanilla beans in alcohol, like vodka or rum, because the alcohol is a powerful solvent that draws the flavor out of the beans. I love this example because vanilla extract is actually super easy to make, and doing it yourself can save you about $1 per ounce compared to commercial extracts. I've dropped a link below to our recipe to make your own. Makes a great gift for bakers. But I'm not done bragging about alcohol. It has another unique characteristic. It is extremely volatile. Volatility just means how easily aroma compounds can escape into the air. You know this one from experience too. Open a bottle of liquor, give it a sniff, and the aroma shoots into your nose. No fat or watery liquid even comes close to that level of volatility. Okay, let's put all of this together. Alcohol is exceptionally good at dissolving flavor compounds in foods, so it can unlock the flavor of ingredients in a dish, then effortlessly disperse them throughout the watery element of the dish, before finally sending them up into our nasal passages so we can smell and taste them fully. That's pretty magical if you ask me. Okay, let's apply all of this to pasta alla vodka. The flavor compounds in tomatoes, pancetta, and garlic are primarily fat soluble. In a sauce without vodka, these compounds only really dissolve in the fat and the cream. The fat does a decent job of dispersing those flavors, but the sauce is less flavorful and aromatic than it could be. Let's go to the kitchen. I'm gonna make a pot of rigatoni alla vodka. What's that you say? It's usually penne alla vodka? Yes, You are correct. But let's be honest here. Rigatoni is an infinitely better pasta shape than penne. I mean, first is the width. Rigatoni is wider, and so it's easier for the sauce to make its way into the center of the noodle. And for some reason, the straight cut ends are just much more satisfying to me. If you agree or disagree, I need to hear from you in the comments. I'll get the pasta water going because the sauce comes together pretty quickly. Then I'll start the sauce by sauteing some chopped pancetta and red pepper flakes in butter. I'm looking for nice golden little pancetta nuggets and some flavorful brown fond to form on the bottom of the pot. Then I'll stir in some finely minced garlic and tomato paste and let that sizzle for about 30 seconds. Now I'm gonna pull the pot off the heat, turn off the heat, and add 7 tablespoons of vodka. I do this off the heat because alcohol is extremely flammable, and I don't want vapors to catch fire. Adding the vodka at this point will allow it to liberate all of those alcohol-soluble compounds we talked about, which will dial up the flavors of the sauce. Now we slide the pot back on the burner and scrape the bottom to loosen up any flavorful fond. Next, in goes passata, heavy cream, salt, and pepper. Now, if you haven't worked with passata, it's great stuff. It's Italy's uncooked strained tomato puree. It's exactly what you want when you're going for bright tomato flavor and a silky smooth texture. It's usually sold in jars, and most supermarkets carry it along with other tomato products. Let's bring the pot up to a simmer and adjust the heat so it's just gently bubbling away. I'm gonna let that go for about 10 minutes so the flavors meld. And then I'll just cut the heat and cover the pot to keep it warm while I cook the pasta. Now it's time to drain the pasta. And before I do that, I'm gonna reserve a cup of pasta cooking water. That I'm gonna use to adjust the consistency of the sauce. Okay, now I'm adding a final tablespoon of vodka. Much of the alcohol from the first batch cooks off after having done its work of melding all those wonderful flavors. This final addition of uncooked vodka adds a subtle bite, but most importantly, helps all of those aromas break free into the air so we can smell and taste them. Finally, we add our pasta, some pasta water, and stir, stir, stir to combine and emulsify. And now, my friends, it is time to eat. Oh man, this is so good. And it's really lush from that mix of heavy cream, butter, and the rendered fat from the pancetta. And there is serious depth to the savoriness that goes way beyond the ingredients that I added to the pot. What's that expression? Greater than the sum of its parts? Yeah, this is definitely, without a doubt, how to eat pasta alla vodka.